Good morning. This is Miss Trees. How are y'all doing? I hope you had a restful sleep. I know I did. I slept a long time. I went to bed at like 9 o'clock. Maybe that's when y'all go to bed or you go to bed a little earlier. But for Miss Trees, that's early. And I slept till 9 o'clock today. Whew. So I'm very much awake and I'm ready to get to work. So we finished our story about places we go. And now, today, we're supposed to be finding the main idea on page 118. So get out your reading book and turn to page 118. 118. So while you're doing that, I want to ask you how y'all are doing. I hope you're doing okay. You're getting some good sleep. You're playing around, you're finding fun stuff to do at your house with your parents. Maybe you're coloring a lot of pictures. Maybe you're reading a bunch of books in some funny places. Probably you're playing a lot of video games. Maybe watching some movies on Netflix. Maybe, probably driving your parents crazy. That's probably the biggest thing you're doing. I know I'm driving my family crazy from just being in the house with them all the time. Y'all know how I am. But mainly I'm taking lots of naps. Maybe y'all are taking some naps too. Remember, you can go outside and play and have some fun and be creative. You just don't need to be around a lot of people. Make sure when you come in, you're washing your hands. You're not putting your hands on your face. And be very, very safe, because when all this is over, we're going to get back into school and everybody's going to be fine and healthy. Okay? All right. You should have turned to page 118 by now. It looks like this. It says identify the main idea at the top. Of course, you know it's backwards on my video. So we're going to identify the main idea. Remember, the main idea is the most important part of the story. The most important part. The summary is when we did the beginning, the middle, and the end. But the main idea is what the whole thing is about in one sentence. Okay? Now it says the main idea is the topic of any text and it's what the text is about. The main idea, or the central idea, which is what the whole thing is about, the central, is the most important idea about a topic. A paragraph or a section of a text can also have a main idea. So not only is the main idea about the whole story, the main idea, if I could ask you, well, what's the main idea of just a paragraph of the story? Or I could ask you, what's the main idea of a whole story? Or I could ask you, what's the main idea of just one chapter of the story? So there's lots of different ways you can ask what the main idea is. And all you're asking is what's the most important part? So then it says, my turn. Go to the close read notes. Underline the words that help you identify the main ideas in the text. Your teacher can help you use what you underline to complete the chart. Now here's the chart. And they've already done the first one for you like they do, because they like to give you a little direction. So right here, and it says paragraphs 1 through 3. Paragraphs 1 through 3. And it's talking about community. Okay, it's talking about community. And the main idea for community is a community is where people live, work, play, and help each other. That sounds familiar. That sounds like the vocabulary word for community. So community, would that be the main idea about community? Well, yeah, because that's what we discussed. Flip back. Let me see. Community, I think, is the first thing we talked about, right? What is a community? On page 100. Hold your spot. Hold your spot with something on page 118 and go back to page 100. I'll give you a second to get to page 100. Okay, it says, what is a community? If you go to the side, on the side it has the definition of a community. Community is in bold print. It says a place where people live, work, and play. So that would make sense that the main idea for a nonfiction text, remember nonfiction is real because it's not fiction. Fiction is pretend. So if it's nonfiction, which is not fiction, that means it's real. So what is a community? It's a place where people live, work, and play. So if you go back to page 118, remember I told you to hold your spot. That's what they wrote right here. Okay? That's what they wrote right here. All right. So the next thing it tells you to do, we're going to do this together because I'm going to let you do another thing on your own. Okay? Go to paragraphs 13 and 14. Well, now let's go back to page 100. Let's go back to page 100. And that was paragraphs 1 through 3. The paragraphs are numbered. They're very small letters. Or not letters, numbers. So it says 1 and 2 are on page 100. 3 is on page 101. We're looking for 13 through 14. So turn the page. That 103 goes to paragraph 6. 105 goes to paragraph 8. 107 goes to paragraph 10. Oh, here we go. 13 and 14. That's what we're looking for, right? Page 13 and 14. That's on page 109. Okay? 109 is where paragraphs 13 and 14 are. So go to page 109. Hold your place on page 118 because that's where our work is. Page 118. So 109. Let's read over those two paragraphs real quick. Have you ever been to the children's section of a library? So we're talking about a library. And that makes sense because the picture up there is of a librarian reading a book to students, just like Miss Hawkins read books to y'all. It is where you will find books written just for kids. The children's section often has story time. The librarian or other guests will read picture books aloud to visitors. Many libraries also have summer reading programs. Kids can sign up, read books, and win prizes. Okay, so what are words that help you figure out the main idea? Let's see. What are some things that helped you? The librarian did what? What did the librarian do? She read books, right, to students and kids. She read picture books to visitors. And libraries have summer reading programs and kids can sign up to read books and win prizes. So, I think maybe the important parts are books are written just for kids. That's in the first paragraph. So underline some books are written just for kids. So we're going to underline, it is where you will find books written just for kids. That's right here. It is where you will find books written just for kids. It's the last sentence of paragraph 13. Right there. Y'all got it? Okay. And then what does the librarian do with those books? The librarian or other guests will read picture books aloud to visitors. That's kind of in the middle of paragraph 114. So there's that. The librarian or other guests will read books out loud to visitors. It looks weird because mine's backwards. I'm going to try to fix that. Did you find that? Okay, now let's try to put that all together into one. How about something like this? Librarians, that's one of the most important things of these two paragraphs, right? Librarians read books aloud to kids. That seems simple enough, don't you think? Librarians read books aloud just for kids. So let's write that down. Go back to page 118. Go back to page 118. And this might take a minute because when I write this down, it's hard for you to I can't write it down to where you can see it. So let's just do this. Maybe I can make myself a little weird. I don't know. Okay, right here you're going to write librarian, library, or the library. Okay, so you can go back in your text, go back here where we underline the text and write librarian, and then you'll be able to spell it correctly right here. Okay, so flip back and forth and spell librarian. I'll give you a few minutes to do that. Or not a few minutes, but a minute to do that. So put librarian right here. Librarian. And it's going to be spelled right here. It's right here in the word in the sentence that we underlined. Librarian. Okay? Write that in this box. Under community. Librarian. When you got it, put your hand up. Just kidding, I can't see your hand. I wish I could. I wish we were in class doing this. Okay. Now, the main idea. What did we say? The librarian reads books to students. The librarian reads books to students. Now remember, if you don't spell a word correctly, that's okay. Ask one of your parents or whoever you live with that if you want, they can help you spell. If not, that's okay. Remember, Miss Trees is not concerned about your spelling. I'm just concerned about you remembering or understanding what we're talking about. The librarian reads books to students. Okay, let's look again now at the last one. The last one is paragraph 15 through 17. So turn the page. Ooh, what's that about? Our favorite place, The grocery store. Everybody loves H-E-B. The grocery store is where we get all the good food that we eat. Okay, so let's read the grocery store. That's paragraphs 15 through 17. All right. Where do most people get the food they eat? They go to the local grocery store. Large grocery stores are called supermarkets. People find what they need by searching the aisles in a market. Signs often show what is found in each aisle. The aisle is like where you go, the rows where you go to find the stuff. Okay? Many people work in the grocery store. Trucks bring food and other items to the store. Workers unload boxes and stock the shelves. Cashiers work all the registers. They scan items to tell people how much money they owe. Some workers put groceries in bags for shoppers. And we talked all about H-E-B and Walmart and how they do that kind of stuff. Okay, now, what are all these things about? What are these paragraphs about? They're all talking about a what? A grocery store. You're right. H-E-B and Walmart are pretty much where we get our groceries. When I was driving down Flores Street, I saw some small grocery stores, and so you might get some of your stuff from there, or the dollar store, or very smaller convenience stores on the corner. Now, what are they talking about? Grocery stores. Now, if you look on page 110, at the top it says supermarkets are large stores that sell food and other goods. So, let's make this simple. The whole thing is about grocery stores. So, all I need you to do is copy down supermarkets. Okay? That's easy to spell because it's right there for you. So right here in this box right here, under where we put libraries, you're going to write this word right here. Whoops. Supermarkets. Okay? Supermarkets right here. Because a supermarket is a big grocery store. So we're going to write, whoops, supermarket right here. So go ahead and do that. Write supermarket. And remember, it's spelled for you right here. Supermarket. Now, right here is where we're going to put the main idea for the 3 paragraphs we just read. All right? Now, a supermarket is a large store that sells food and other goods. So, where do we go to find all the food and goods we need? To the grocery store. H-E-B and Walmart is where we'd like to go. I keep stressing that. Okay, so let's see. I think I found the main idea. Look at the top of page 111. It's pretty much in a sentence for us. Look at this sentence right here. Look at this sentence right here. On 14, is it 14? Oh no, it's 16. Paragraph 16. Right here. It says people find what they need by searching aisles at a market. Well, let's cut that short. Okay? Let's cut that short. People find what they need by searching what they need. Let's take that part out. Searching the aisles. Cross out searching the aisles. We'll leave that out. I think that's too specific for a main idea. So I want you to underline people find what they need in, cross out by searching the aisles. Cross that out. Cross out by searching the aisles. Aisles is spelled with an A-I. It sounds funny. It sounds kind of a funny sounding word, and it's spelled funny. You'd think aisles was spelled with an I, not an A in front of it. That would have been a high frequency word. So, by searching the aisles is crossed out, but then underlined is in a market. So it's going to look like this. It's going to look like this. People, of course it's backwards, I'm sorry. People find what they need, cross out by right here, cross out searching the aisles, but underline in a market. So what you're going to write in your box is people find what they need in a market. Okay? People find what they need in a market. All right? So that is what you're going to write right here as the main idea. Okay? So go ahead and do that now. I'll give you about a minute. Go ahead. Write that what we underlined. Leave out the supermarket part that we crossed out. And then just write what we underlined right there. I think that's a good main idea. I'm waving to my daughter. She's in the kitchen. She's actually working as a teacher too. She's called a student teacher. And she's having to work over this break too. So she can finish all the stuff she needs to finish her stuff to be a real teacher. So she'll be a real teacher just like my husband teaches agriculture. She'll be teaching agriculture too in the fall when we go back to school. I hope we go back to school earlier than the fall, because then you'll be third graders and I won't get to see you. I'll only see you in the hallway. But I know we're going to go back soon. I just miss you too much. She actually is a real teacher. She's doing this student teaching just to get practice. I'm looking for my dog. I was going to show y'all my dog, but I think he's outside. Yesterday was our dog's birthday. He's 7 years old now. Okay, do y'all have that written down? Okay. Now what we're going to do, that's all the work we had to do for today. Tomorrow, you're supposed to do the check for understanding on page 117, which is the page right before where we worked. This is page 117. Check for understanding, page 117, okay? Now, that's what you're supposed to do tomorrow. What I want y'all to do, if you can, if your mom or dad has a cell phone, or probably some of you have cell phones, which I think is crazy, what I want you to do is when you finish that, take a picture of it and then text it to me, okay? Take a picture of it and text it to me, and then I'll be able to give you a grade for that, okay? Make sure you use your best handwriting, We're still practicing on handwriting. Y'all got your books, so hopefully you're practicing your handwriting too. And so you're going to do that tomorrow by yourself, and then I'll grade that and make sure you got 100, which I'm sure you'll all get 100. Oh, look who's here. It's my daughter and our cat, Nala. Can you say hi to Nala? There's Nala. She's not being very friendly. It's morning. She's not a morning cat. And there's my daughter, Jordan. Say hi to Jordan. Hi, Jordan. See, and our cat's sweet. Her name is Nala, just like on The Lion King. Okay, so I know this has been a long, hard time so far, but I'm trying to make the stuff that you turn in as easy as possible. And we're doing some stuff together by ourselves. So next week, you have a new set of stuff to read. We have next Friday off for Easter. It's Good Friday. And then we'll have Monday off the next week. So you'll have a 4-day weekend. Yay! So next week, we'll be doing poetry, which is really fun. And so we'll only have 4 weeks of work next week. Now, your writing has been something that you're supposed to be keeping up with too, but I haven't gotten to do a writing video because I can't figure out how to flip this video around so you can see me write. But hopefully you're writing, this one is you're writing about animals. So I'm going to do another video on animals. Miss Clower is going to help me figure out how to do this video on the phone. Okay? So hopefully today I'll have another video for y'all on writing. So be sure to look for that. Okay? Until then, I love y'all. Be safe. Wash your hands. Have fun. And don't drive your parents crazy. All right. Bye-bye.